Hello, cunty balls. So I am back in my humble abode, as you can tell by the fuck ton of boxes everywhere. I got all my stuffies back, and I'm so happy. Mwah! So it has been a while. It's been a week. Basically, having to come back to uni was a bit more work than I thought, so I had to leave the upload from last week. But don't worry, I'll make it up to you guys, you silly goofy femboys. But this week, I think we're gonna do another Things I Hate video, because I'm feeling angry. So in this week of Things I hate Starfield. But to clarify, before I get any of you Bethesda fanboys typing your little essays down in comments on why my opinion is wrong and how invalid I am, first thing I want to clarify is that Starfield's a good game. So this is a pretty good game. But it's got some very big issues. And unfortunately, those issues didn't make the game for me. I have a funny feeling I'm not going to be finishing this game. I don't really want to finish this game. And for those of you who are saying, well, you can't have an opinion on this game unless you finish it, fuck you. If a game does not grab me by the balls, like most people, within the first 2 or 3 hours, I am not interested. I don't want to spend more time on this game. And after 11 hours in, I was already starting to get bored. But on that note, the community kind of sucks. Like, I've never seen a more annoying community than the whole Starfield thing. Now, this isn't all people play Starfield, it's just all the people I see in the comments defending the game to the utter brim, as if it's the holy grail. Now, I've already done a video on Starfield and what I thought it was going to be like. My opinions kind of become a bit more solidified in what I originally thought. If you give this game any form of criticism online though, you're bound to have that Bethesda fanboy go down into the comments and take it quite personally. It's not personal, it's just that we kind of need to rectify these issues so that game developers don't continue to make them. So first things first, what is Starfield known for? What's its essence? You can pause the video and let me know in the comments if you want, and then maybe subscribe. Now for me, when I saw Starfield, I always thought it was a space game. And in my other video, I said it probably wasn't, and it's not. It's not a space game. It's nothing at all like a space game. And what I mean by space game is, it's not a game about space, it's just got space in it. And the space in it is boring. And then, okay, so you have the argument against this is that, do you really want to be spending 7 hours flying all the way to Pluto? No, I don't. I don't want to be spending 7 hours flying to Pluto, but I'd like to fly to something. Anything. I've got a fucking ship. Why can't I fly to things? Now, I'm going to do the thing that apparently is like the no-no thing. The thing you do not do about this game is compare it to No Man's Sky. So I'm going to compare it to No Man's Sky. In No Man's Sky, you see a planet, you can fly to it, it tells you it's probably going to take 4 hours. You can use a hyperdrive, get there in 30 seconds. Why can't Starfield do that? There was no reason not to do it. Why can't they fucking do it? Now, the big thing about it, I can already hear people screaming at me in the comments for this, is like, why does it matter? Is really flying 30 seconds to a planet really that fun? Well, if you're making a space game, the whole concept of space being irrelevant inside a video game is the fact that space encourages exploration. It is the unknown. As a human race, we haven't really seen much of space other than our own solar system, so the whole point of space games is exploring. And when you fuck up the exploring in a game that's about space, or is meant to be about space, it just sucks. Okay, so when I was playing No Man's Sky, when I saw a planet and I flew to it, No Man's Sky, shit at release. So was Starfield though, so we can't really make that comparison. When I could fly to a planet, I could land on it, I then could explore it. I had this entire planet called Spunkyland. There was a settlement on it that I did not know about. I named that Spunkadonk. And then there was this whole thing where like I had to help the settlement. I know it's like the whole another settlement needs your help, but it's not really like that because it's actually done well in No Man's Sky. You go there, you get elected as mayor or whatever the fuck it's called, you then get to choose between at the terminal what you go into. Do you build a bar and increase happiness, or do you build a generator room and increase production? And then you have to keep on doing that, build your generator room, and then you have like a city customized to yourself that other people can come and land on and visit. That's sick. That is space. That is like what I wanted in a space game. Now, I think I think Starfield went for a more realistic take on space, which is great and all, but it's not fun. The most common experience I've had in Starfield so far is I would go to a planet, I would land on one of the points of interest, either 3 or 4, maybe 1 or 2, never mind. I land on it, there'd be nothing around, so I'd run all the way to a settlement. First of all, you will have to run, unless you want to go through fast traveling again, which I've already landed on the planet. I should be able to just go. Not have to get back in my ship or go back into the menu to fast travel to another point so I can get closer to this thing that's miles away. After exploring the settlement for like a bit, it just gets boring because you look around you and there's nothing. Now, I don't know what it is, but I think this game breaks the whole kind of rule of open world games. Now, if you guys don't know, there's this thing with open world games where I think it's seen in The Witcher, but when you have points of interest, it's like all done in a kind of radius circle. So you have a point of interest, point of interest, point of interest, and it's all within this circle of about 40 seconds travel time. 30, 40, I can't really remember. In Starfield, it is legit 10 minutes. 10 minutes travel time. Now, the reason it's normally 40 seconds is because that's enough to keep players engaged. I'm not going to be engaged enough 10 minutes traveling through barren wasteland on a planet no. That's boring! And that's what it's like for the entire game. I was expecting to do a bit of a longer video on this. I don't think it's going to be that long. It's just, I find it boring. And there's a lot of people who find that boring. And there's a lot of people who say, no, it's not boring. Now, I'm fine with you having that opinion. I just want to know why you have that opinion. Like, can you explain to me why you have that opinion? And it's like, well, there's the caves. Okay, so when I got the full freedom of my ship, I went to find a cave on a planet. I went in it expecting this big tunnel system, which would be so cool to explore, and I'd fight aliens, and I don't know, find this rare kind of weapon that's an alien gun and shit. It's just a cave with rocks in it. That's about it. Now, I think my last video, I talked about the whole half-truths thing with Bethesda. And people seem to be in denial that Bethesda have told half-truths for this game, and that we got exactly what we were told we were. The half-truth is where you half tell the truth, but leave very important parts out. You can explore 1,000 planets. No, you can't. You cannot explore 1,000 planets. You can look at 1,000 planets and explore around about 600 of them. That's still a lot of planets, right? Now, there's only hand-picked planets in this game where you can actually be motivated to explore it. Because, frankly, if I'm landing on a planet and I see a settlement all the way over, like at the other end of a horizon, I'm not really that motivated to walk all the way over there just to see what it could be. And most likely, it was just like a cell tower. That's not interesting for me. Why would I want to do that? I'm just going to leave a planet, go to another one, see if there's anything there that's more interesting. This other cool thing, which I thought you could do, where it was you can land on a planet, but if you can't land on, because I had contraband in my ship, if I could land near like the edge of a city, like not park my ship there, but park it away from the city and walk to the city, you can't do that. The rest of the planet is literally barren, and it's because Starfield does this thing, right, where it's tile systems, but the tiles are never consistent. When you land on a tile, and you go back up into space, and then you land on that exact same spot again, the tile formation will be different. So nothing's consistent. So it's not like you could explore a bit of a planet that you really like, and then come back to it, because it's most likely going to be different. So again, the whole exploration thing is just random chance now. I don't think it's emphasized enough how fucked the exploring is in this game, and for a space game where the whole concept of space games is exploration, I would have thought that they would have had to double down on that. That would be the prime focus of this game. And once you come to the conclusion that this is not a space exploration game, or some people say space sim, I hear a lot of people saying, well, it's not a space sim, so you can't compare it to No Man's Sky! You're completely correct. It's not a space sim. And that's its biggest flaw, that it's not a space exploration game. Because if you're going to make a game like Starfield, it should be. Or else, what you've got is a lot of, pardon the pun, wasted space that nobody wants to go and look at. I'm not in my ship. The only reason you have to be in your ship in Starfield is if you have to be for a mission. That is the only time you have to do it. Other than that, if you don't want to be in your ship and you want to get from A to B, don't even have to get in. You don't even have to use your ship. Guaranteed, you could finish the game without doing anything to your starter ship. And that's another thing, the starter ship. The first tutorial of this game, I was just given a ship from this random guy I met. I was like, okay, I have a ship now, that's cool. In No Man's Sky, I got to build my first ship. And admittedly, the first hour of No Man's Sky is boring because it's a tutorial and it drags you down and it forces you to build a settlement or build your first house on this planet that you might or might not even want to stay on. At least when you're building your ship and you finish it, you're like, fuck yes, I built that. And then you go to another planet, you see a crash ship and you're like, I could possibly spend the remainder of my playtime on this planet fixing up this ship so I can use this like S-class ship and then fly around and feel like a fucking god. Or you can just go to the next planet. I'm going to try and describe my experience in No Man's Sky and then compare it to Starfield. I booted up No Man's Sky, and I bought No Man's Sky as well because I actually wanted to compare it to Starfield for this video, and I've been addicted to No Man's Sky ever since. My first hour getting past the tutorial was I was flying around space. I came around this fleet battle, getting attacked by pirates. I helped the pirates out because I thought, you know, why not? Maybe I can get a bit of extra money out of this. The pirate gave me his fleet ship. There's this big fuck off ship that you can summon into space at any time. And then you have these fleet guys and you can send them off on different missions to gather resources. And you can have like attack fleets and squadrons where you can like summon them into space when you're getting attacked by pirates. And then you're like this big pew, 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 pew. And I was like, fuck yes, this is so cool. Maybe I can use this to my advantage. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the space station, see if there's any missions I can do. And you know what? There was. So there was this planet that I had to go to, and there was this big worm things like flying up from the ground, like massive fuck off worms. I named them the Flying Spermies, because then when people go to that planet, I discovered they'll see the Flying Spermies. And guess what? I went to the planet next to it, and there was this base that someone built with a bunch of stuff in it. And I was like, fuck, someone built this? I wonder if they're going to come back. And then my friend came and played us, so I showed him my settlement and what I built. And then we went off on these weird missions where we saw this weird-ass planet where there was like these giga-chad fuck-off alien things. But guess what? You can fucking tame. You can tame and keep them as your pets and then have a zoo later on the planet of your choice. The only anxiety I had about this game was that if I found a planet and then went miles away in the star system, which by the way is infinite, I don't think there's an end to it because I could go on forever to all of these fucking solar systems. Then I can make a teleporter, hook it up to, what's it called? Solar panels, and then I could just teleport back to that planet whenever I wanted to my old base. How cool is that? And then you have people say, oh my god, well all the planets in No Man's Sky are the same. They were the same. Holy shit, I found this weird ass planet where everything was volcanoes, and volcanoes were fucking erupting when I was flying into the planet, so I had to like dodge all these fucking things, and then there was an asteroid that fell down, so I had to kind of maneuver my way out that because it was quite close. And then finally land, but a storm happened, so I used my terrain manipulator because guess what? All the terrain is manipulatable. Fuck! So I made myself a cave. And I sat in the cave and had glorious anal sex with a tentacle. That part might have been made up. You can't do that. I'm sure there's mods for it though, right? Can you guys link that down below, please? 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 No, that was all within like a few hours of playtime. So I was engaged. Because there was so much to do in No Man's Sky now. There's now this player hub that you can go to as well, and because I said I was a Femboy, someone gifted me 600 million credits, so to whoever that was, thank you very much. Now, if I was to compare that to Starfield, it would go a bit differently. Also, why is my camera doing that thing? Stop it. So, in Starfield, you start off as a miner. And I don't mean those illegal types, I mean the diggy dig digs. So you're walking around this cave with this woman who's talking to you. I wasn't listening to her because I was like, well, this cave is pretty cool, I want to go run around. So I wasn't that interested in what she was saying or the story. Now, I know that some people quite like the story, and fair enough. If you like the story, that's great. I don't like the story. The story, you know, I've played Assassin's Creed before. I'm used to this whole, there's a rare artifact and you have to go find it and you have to put it together and then there's this big thing at the end. Seen it, done it, pretty cool. So then, after we got out the cave, we were attacked by some space pirates, 2 or 3 of them. So we killed them, and then this guy came out from a spaceship and he was like, yo, it's pretty sick. I don't want to go anywhere, so do you want this ship? And I was like, you know what, cool, I'll take your ship. So I flew to this other planet and talked to this lady, who then followed me about, and then we had to go to this space station in space, and land on it, and then shoot the people inside, and then go back, talk to this other guy, and then get back in my ship, to go to this other place on a planet, and then shoot the people there, and then go back to the planet to let the guy know that we shot the people there, and then we have to go to this other place, do the shitty shits. Now, Bethesda games, formulaic, right? I loved Skyrim. Skyrim was fucking good. Skyrim also made it so that every 40 seconds you walked, there was something happening. This felt like a very blatant choice between the main missions and the side quests. And don't worry, I also started some of the side quests and did some of them. But it was the same concept as there was this one side quest where I landed on this planet. There was a guy there who needed help. And there was these like 3 other parties who are all they all have this common enemy, but none of them like each other. So I did the thing. I had to use my persuasion like mini game, which is clicking either a green, orange or red button and seeing if it works. I did that, persuaded some of them to be friends again so we could kill these space pirates. That was it. Landed on the planet again. Cool. People also use Skyrim as like why are you mad at Starfield when Skyrim also did this? Skyrim is a really old game now. The fact that you're comparing Starfield to Skyrim and saying, look, Skyrim did it and it was good in Skyrim, so it must be good here. You're comparing it to a game which is now considered outdated for the modern time. So the fact that you're saying that Starfield is like Skyrim but in space is just saying that it's fucking outdated, which it kind of is. I don't notice anything next gen about it, to be fair. And I was told that there'd be next gen stuff. Where's the next gen stuff? There's no massive fucking space battles in this, like, and I mean actual space battles, like in No Man's Sky. You see these massive fleets, and they all hyperdrive in like in fucking Star Wars. In fact, I was streaming my game on my Discord, which you should probably go to if you want to go watch me play some silly games in my free time. And I was showing the comparison between Starfield and No Man's Sky through my own experience playing, and everyone on the call was saying, "Hey, is that Star Wars? Is that fucking Star Wars?" Because all these fucking ships like flew in, and then the other like opposing ships flew in as well, like with fucking hyperdrive mode, so they were all like boinging into each other, and then they all just started fighting, and I was like, fuck, I'm in the middle of this shit. It was cool. I liked that. My biggest criticism with Starfield, and I think this is a very fair criticism, it did not commit to being a space game. If it committed to being a space, like seeing these other alien races as well in Starfield would have been cool. Everyone's just human. And know what? There's also this Crimson Fleet, which I was excited to join. When I was like hyped about Starfield, and I was at the beginning of the game thinking, okay, let's see where I can go with this. I was excited to know that I could go to this Crimson Fleet and join them instead. And that was cool and all, but like they just let me in. I did one task for them, and they were like, yeah, we trust you now. You come into our organization, because we don't think you'll betray us at all. And don't you dare compare that to Skyrim, because in Oblivion, it took a lot more to get into a guild than you think. You had to actually rank up in a guild before you got the cool missions, you know? Here is my advice to all you silly gamer femboys. If you're wanting another Bethesda storyline game, and you like the concept of a Fallout 4 but with a space setting, go get Starfield and you'll enjoy it. If you were like me, expecting a space game with space exploration, don't pick up Starfield. You'll get bored. I got bored. I'm bored. I refunded it so I could get No Man's Sky, and holy fuck. No Man's Sky had a really shitty launch. In fact, if you haven't seen the Internet Historian's video, go watch that now. But I'll also link some videos down there on what the game's like now. And holy fuck. It is like... It's what I wanted. I wanted to feel like I was in a Star Wars movie, and now I feel like I'm in a Star Wars movie, and I feel all cute and ooh, I'm a space femboy. But as always, you should probably take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because I am just a gay little retard online, so take it as you will. I'm just here talking about my own experience with the game, and I'm sorry, I just don't like it. And it genuinely gives me the fear for Elder Scrolls 6, because the Elder Scrolls series I fucking love. Okay, so there's two sides to it. I feel like it will be a good game because it's focusing on an IP they know how to do. Whereas Starfield was a new IP, so they were kind of throwing themselves into something that they haven't done before. Whereas Elder Scrolls 6, they've done Skyrim, they've done Oblivion, Morrowind, fucking... They know how to do it, I hope. But at the same time, I don't want to play it and it just to feel like Skyrim, but different, in a different area. I want it to feel like something is actually like next gen, like with new combat systems and shit. But anyway, silly little gay boys, I am off to have a nap. That is exactly what I'm going to do. Is anyone else excited for No Not November? Yeah, me neither. Anyway, sorry for no uploads last week. I'll try my best to make it up to you by doing a double uploads. Don't know how that's gonna go. Kind of busy right now, as you can see. I've got boxes everywhere I need to unpack. I've kind of rushed this video because I haven't put makeup on, I haven't put my normal stuff on. It's still packed, so oh my god, things are such a mess. But don't worry, I will deal with all that for you, because I love my little viewers. You're all so cute and fuzzy. This is your little safe place on the internet. I swear to god, you won't get bullied here, I promise. Anyway, I'm sorry for no ass wiggling in this video. That will come later on, don't worry. Anyway, I'm off. You guys all have a lovely weekend, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Ah!